Hi, welcome back to another episode of Spit or Swallow Pod with your favorite host in the whole wide world, Hausa Chocolate. Yay! Today is a special day as per usual, and with me I have a very special guest, the Shar, owner of 16 by 16 and H Factor Lagos. Take it away, the
Hi,
Shar.
team. Yeah, it's Tushar. It's an U.
Tushar.
Yeah, a mouthy mouthful.
Tushar.
Yeah. I would describe myself as a mouthful and a handful. I think.
Mouthful.
The idea has always been do a lot, do it passionately, and yeah. Well, try and make life easy, but there's a lot to handle. Um, Today, I guess, are we just jumping in?
Yeah, we're just
Yeah, we're
jumping
just
in.
jumping
Oh,
in.
before we move forward, spit or
Yeah.
swallow.
Um, Damn, this is so hard. I would do a swallow.
Mm-hmm.
I would do a swallow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be like, yum. That was nice,
He
like
said
that
yum.
was that's
Fair.
that's my that's my favorite word to use. That's
Yeah,
my flirt word.
I would have said cute, but yeah.
Cute.
Yes, you
Yeah.
said cute like 6 times in the past 5 minutes. But okay.
That's just me being as ambiguous as possible. I'm like,
Mm,
what am I thinking about that? Cute, cute.
mm.
Yeah,
And cute can be shady too sometimes.
it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can be nice but super cunty.
Mm.
Yeah,
Conti.
yeah, yeah. She has a dark side.
What's your star sign?
I'm a Capricorn.
I
Yeah,
see.
solid Capricorn, January 1st
Oh my
birthday. Yeah, so
god!
right in the
Wow, main character syndrome. I
completely,
can
completely.
imagine,
It's like, oh, I'm gonna be in the background, but I
but not
want to
really.
be in the center so bad.
I would hate to have a January 1st birthday because there's just so much going on and it
Yeah.
would overshadow your birthday.
Yeah, so it's a lot to kind of like work through. It's like, okay, this is the world's day, but it's also
Also mine.
mine. Yeah, so we're slowly trying to like convince people like how much of the shit we are.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I think that that's the work I do also. It's
Fair.
like kind of, yeah, kind of. Trying to make life beautiful. I think I run a bunch of spaces. Basically, that's kind of how I approach things, and
Mm-hmm.
the idea is like fill it with the people I love,
Mm-hmm.
with people who want to like be in those places, and then
Mm-hmm.
just have really nice conversations, mostly over drinks, and yeah, and then what follows is what we make of it. Really, I think
Mm.
it's just like that's as easy as I can put it.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes a lot of sense.
yeah,
Love that. And yeah, so jumping right into the
let's
conversation,
jump.
we're talking about. What did you
I
say?
said let's jump.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's jump. So we're talking about society post labels. I think that we live in a world where um a lot of times we're trying to box ourselves into different labels and categories to make sense of how we show up in the world or to also present a particular persona or
Yeah.
dynamic, or yeah, this is what I am and this is who I am. And we had a discussion about this earlier, and I feel like labels are important, especially in Nigeria, because so many people are still figuring out who they are or navigating, and of course struggling to show up as they are. But also, I believe in fluidity. I think sometimes people think that, oh, if I pick a label, then I have to be this forever, or I can't go back, and change my mind. And, what would you say is your thoughts on just like Lagos and, labels?
Yeah, I mean, so I've been back in Lagos for like 9 years now. I grew up here, but I think I really like discovered the city in like the last 9 years that I've been here. And I've been trying to think about like my practice, and I think a line I had written is boxes to break out of.
Mm,
So in general, like I think that there's a lot of safety in a box, you
mm,
know. But I hope that the box first allows you to be comfortable,
mm-hmm.
but that eventually you're kind of like pushing the
Push it,
walls
yeah.
open a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I think, I mean, in my personal opinion, I have historically worked with labels,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think you're catching me at this really interesting moment in time where they've been challenged so much.
Mm-hmm.
And have just started to challenge them myself as
Mm-hmm.
well. So I guess I've thought of myself as gay for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I've known of the attraction, um, but I think that experiencing Lagos has been such a, I would not say a humble teacher. Lagos is like a really sassy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Humble.
but I guess the sum of my experiences have often pointed me to this fact of I'm more interested in like the gray areas,
Mm-hmm.
of life. Attraction does not necessarily have to be like one thing alone. It's a sum of things.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then also, I guess I would consider myself a little bit of, I would say, a deviant in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think approaching love and intimacy and sex, I've always kind of done it via.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a sort of straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think that that's kind of like taught me that the act of labeling sometimes also prescribes a set of rules by which you move forward.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like that, like kind of what your expectations are for how things will pan out.
Mm-hmm.
They're not that.
Yeah. So, what would you say would be your greatest pushback? You said you identified as gay for a long time.
Yeah.
So, what would you say would be expectations people would have of you as a gay man or as a gay person? And what did you try to change, or what did you try to break? And basically, have you navigated that?
um I guess first of all, I would first separate like my experiences with men and women. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's really men
Oh,
and
true. How you express to women? Fun fact:
yeah.
first time I ever saw you, I had a crush on you, and someone was like, "No, girl, no."
Okay, they did. Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
there's like,
uh,
like
so that's like the immediate, right? I mean, and
mm-hmm.
I'm walking into spaces, and I think I'm not like out. I'm not like I'm out and proud.
Effeminate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so like my body type will throw
yeah.
people
Because
off
I'm
in
seeing like,
general.
ooh, chest.
Yeah, exactly. I got it, baby. I got
You
it.
do.
Yeah, and so it kind of throws people off. I wouldn't say
Mm-hmm.
throws it off. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
flattered
yeah.
mostly, and for me, I guess I think I'm a little bit of a people pleaser. That's kind of how I grew up.
Mm.
Bullied in school.
Oh,
Yeah, it was tough.
yeah.
I would not say carrying it a lot more with me anymore, but there's that element of, oh, I
Mm-hmm.
want to see where this conversation goes,
Mm.
right?
So you be leading them on.
For sure.
Ah,
For
he
sure.
said
I
for
mean, for
sure.
sure. But I like it. Like I
Wow,
want a little I
attention.
want a little like lathering,
Mm-hmm.
and I have been with women actually. Like all of my early experiences like
Mm.
were with women.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, fun fact,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been in a relationship with a man
Oh
yet.
wow.
Yeah. Which is interesting, right? So
Yeah.
the plot thickens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh it's
But
it's
you've dated women.
I've dated women.
Mm. And how did
Um,
those go?
um, really well, good. But I guess for me, there was always this nagging feeling of like,
Yeah.
damn, like I have this thought in the back of
And
my
you had
head.
sex with them?
Yeah,
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I
Really?
did, and I guess partly what it was is
And
I
you don't think you're
wasn't.
bisexual? No.
So then this is the question, right? Like
He's like,
post
what am
label,
I?
like exactly, like it's like
70% gay.
yeah, I guess maybe we should just work with percentages now. It's
Right,
either like
yeah.
hyper focused on the percentage,
Mm-hmm.
like tell me your genetics,
Mm.
like please, like what is your makeup? Um, or just do away with the whole thing.
Yeah, and just
Yeah, and I was having a conversation with a friend, Yaz,
mm.
who introduced us, right?
Yes,
She's the
yes.
reason. Shout out
Shout out, yes.
Yazabelli. Yazabelli, I love you,
Oh
baby.
my god, don't kill me. I love her
She's yeah,
actually.
she's we've just been chatting, and I guess partly it was the box became too much after a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was tired of having to, I wouldn't say explain myself, but there was a period in which where someone would meet me and they'd be like, I'm trying to understand you. There might have been like a little like bullying going on when it was with men because they were
Mm.
like trying to like be like, no, actually you're a straight man. Like, you know, like
Mm.
you're a straight man. And then
Mm.
women, I think, um, we're in a really interesting age now, right? Like
Mhm.
this, there's this strong female energy
Mhm.
everywhere, and I think
Mhm.
it's great, you
Mhm.
know. And I think with that also, I think women are expressing themselves more.
Yes.
But I will say that like
Because if someone didn't tell me, I would have come for you straight.
right,
I was
and
ready. I was ready. She's
and
like,
I
no, no, tranquilo, tranquilo. I was like, oh, damn it.
but I
Hmm.
respect women because I feel like they can hold themselves
Yeah, of
back a
course.
little
Yeah,
bit.
we're not.
But like I have met those that have been like full on like
Mm.
oppressors.
Oh,
You know,
wow.
they've been like, give it to me.
Wow.
Like, let me take it. And I'm like, I don't know. I think my body would lock up
Yeah,
sometimes and I'll
of
just be
course,
like,
definitely.
what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean there was still also like never a want to say like, "Oh yeah, I'm gay," because I mean, God, like the statement itself is just like, why am I saying this?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we should just be able to flow in
Yeah.
a conversation,
Yeah.
which then, in a sense, like then takes me to this whole idea of like I don't know. Are we ever leading people on? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I think partly we enter conversations ambiguous,
Mm-hmm.
or we enter conversations with lust. It's like I want
Mm-hmm.
this, I want to consume this, or I don't,
Yeah.
or I'm ambiguous.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess for me, like partly my journey has been just ambiguous when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to women. With men, I'm like, okay, I like this, but I want to consume. But there's not
Mm-hmm.
so much of a question of, oh, might I see an intimacy there? Because the
Mm.
minute it
Why?
comes to intimacy with guys, I don't know. It's this period of it's this space of the unknown, I
Mm.
think, for me that
Mm-hmm.
I guess always gets me. It's like, so what do we do after? Right. So
Mm.
we've had sex, it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the next day. Like
Do you
mostly
text
it's
him?
like most well you text, but like mostly you might not get a message back. I
Ooh.
mean it's Lagos also, right?
Fair enough.
So like context Lagos, it's just tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also it's like the expectation that it's just there for that point
For the
in time and
moment,
then,
yeah.
you
But
know,
then are they all like openly out?
well yeah,
No.
that's also the other
Yeah, so I feel
that's
like that's like probably the main reason, or would
yeah,
be a main reason why there wouldn't be intimacy because it's like they're
exactly.
not as.
Yeah. So I mean, but so again, this is me and like my main character energy. I think historically it's been like I get sort of massive like kicks out of turning a man.
Hmm.
Yeah. She
Well, did you
dangerous.
did you
Um
but did you turn them, or did you just give them the space to be who they really are?
right,
Right? Yeah.
exactly.
Because if
Yeah.
if you had sex with a woman, you wouldn't feel like she turned you. It's like, hey, the vibes were right, and like it is what it is. I mean, I'll call you tomorrow, but it was good for tonight, type
Exactly.
thing.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, again, that's the thing. I think it's partly like that's what it is. You frame it really well, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But I guess also I think where it comes on like the labels for me is if you say this is what you are, this is what you are,
Yeah.
you know, like I'm not in that position anymore of like wanting
Yeah.
to
Let me change you.
challenge it anymore. It's like cool, all right, you know. Again, it's a box to break out of. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's kind of what we do with identity anyway. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm still trying to figure out what non-binary is. I think
Mm-hmm.
in the closest sense, that's what I don't know. Is that post label? Is non-binary like
I think so. I was gonna say, because when you were describing a lot of things that you were saying, I thought about how some people will say like, yeah, I'm just non-binary. I'm just
yeah,
not. But non-binary, more, it has more to do with like, I don't want to mix gender and sexuality up right now. Um, it's more about, when people talk about the binary, they're really talking about like male and female, and
right.
so it's more, I think that is usually more with what's it called, with gender.
Right.
Yeah. But
Okay.
then, yes, but when you're talking about like heterosexual or
Right.
homosexual, and then all of that, it's slightly different.
Right.
And so there's still always room for where people are saying, okay, I'm questioning in terms of, and
Yeah.
someone will say, what's your sexual, I'm questioning. It's like,
Right.
I don't know. I'm figuring it out,
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But some just say, look, I don't belong to either of the labels. I just am. And I understand, you saying you want to show up as, you just believe in like connection, and because at the same time, yes, I believe that, people are attracted to certain types of, you know,
The aesthetic of it.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm a man, I'm only aroused by dicks, or
Yeah.
like a male body or
Yeah.
whatever. And there's some people who are just like, look, I'm attracted to energy, right? If it feels right, it's all about, because I always say sex is a sensory dance. It's all
Yeah.
about the feeling. It's all about the
Exactly.
skin on the skin, or the in the moments. And it's like,
Exactly.
I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're this, if the vibes are right, we have sex, everybody goes home. I
Exactly.
think the only possible downside with that is what happens next, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times being ambiguous and being unclear and being all passionate and all of that is good for the moment.
Yeah.
But after that is done, it's like, especially when both of you are in different, and especially being in like Lagos, you guys are in different places in society and stuff, if the person is like, yeah, I'm questioning, it doesn't matter, you guys can start a relationship. I personally don't believe in set templates or rules or
Yeah.
anything needs to follow this, that. In fact, you can have sex first, fall in love later, do whatever the fuck you want to do, as long as it feels good for you. I just think that I still feel like for now, labels are just important because some people are figuring out, who they are. Are you sure that you're not one of those like people? I'm guilty of it sometimes, where
Yeah.
it's like the unavailable is attractive.
For sure. No, I mean, I guess that's a sort of the deeper question to ask about intimacy. I
Mhm.
definitely have issues with it. I think
Mhm.
partly like I might be a bit like looking for a very vapid,
Mhm.
just quick
Quick,
one,
yeah, one and done.
Yeah. And I think that's also been really interesting to see because I don't know, intention is hard in a
Mhm.
city where like you're being forced not to develop it sometimes,
Mhm.
or the other side of it is you have to hyper develop it, right?
Mhm.
So like imagine like
It's
you're
just not
closeted.
gonna flow easily. You have
Yeah,
to make that intention to be like, okay, there's possibly going to be backlash or this, that, and the third. Mhm.
yeah, but then also that if you're in the closet or you're thinking or questioning, then you have to be way more intentional,
Mhm.
A, to hide it, but also to then develop
Mhm.
that intimacy with someone you might like, right?
Mhm.
Because I guess there's also different levels at which it is if you're questioning and you're at that point, then doors are kind of open,
Mhm.
like you can
Mhm.
hide it all you want, but it's there.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be niggling. And then it's if you reach the point of like, oh, I actually wanna have a beard and I wanna still like develop this, as is the case, I think, with like the generation above ours,
Mhm.
where that practice is there, then I think there's this really annoying period of you both have to understand what's going on
Yeah.
and you have to, and it's so deep and
Mhm.
it's like I
And
guess
it's bigger than both of you sometimes.
yeah, and it's a bit unnecessary, I would say.
Mhm.
It's like why
Definitely.
are we suffering here
Mhm.
in this, and then that suffering becomes the act of the bonding. It's
Mhm.
like
Trauma
oh
bonding.
yeah, and it's just like why.
Have you ever been in love?
Wow, okay, should we qualify what that is? What is love?
Oh my god,
Like
this
what
is
is
so
it like?
avoidant.
No, it's not avoidant. Like, please explain what love
What so
means. Like,
what do you
I'm
think? What do you think love is?
first of all, I think monogamy is like you're just together, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's someone to come home to,
Mhm.
or
No, but monogamy is more of a style of love. Like
right,
it's like you in fact, monogamy is more tied to marriage actually. But then
yeah,
when people think of monogamous relationships, like, okay, I love one person, I can only have like feelings for one person at a time, da 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 da. Even if you like many people, is there any time where you felt like, okay, this one is love, like this one is intense, this one is special, I want to be with this person, I want intimacy with this person, I want a whole ass
For
relationship
sure.
and all
I
of that
have
stuff?
gone through that. I think
How
like
many times?
three
Okay,
times.
because I thought
Three
you were about to be like, oh, I
times.
fall in love
Yeah,
every Sunday.
3 times.
Hmm.
Or 4 times. But
Hmm.
they were tough, right? Like they were tough. But I think partly like it was lust. It was also connected to like I mean, there were just really special vibes every single time. And I was
Hmm.
like, wow, I like this. And
Yeah.
I think partly like I'd make a very quick move. I would say I love you like super quickly. I
Oh
know, oh my
no.
God, I did that, right? I know, just trauma, really. Like I was just it's just traumatic.
I mean,
Um
there's nothing wrong with that, but then
no, it was not
don't
no.
be a love dumper. Was it like heat of the moment? It's like, oh, this is so good. I just need to express it in some
I think
passionate
it was
way.
it's partly like language, right? So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, how do I tell you let's try something?
Right.
Like how do we
How
allude?
about
And
let's
I'm
try
not
something?
suave. I think
Mm-hmm.
that I don't have that kind of skill.
You don't have
Like
lyrics.
I don't have it. No, no. I mean, I'll write a letter. I won't
Mm.
send it. Like
Oh, why? See,
it's
look at that. I'm
yeah.
just getting so much like running away from being vulnerable here.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think in an ideal scenario, I think I would have understood where I was coming to when I was coming back to Lagos. I was in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I was as I was not even out then, and I decided I would do it in Lagos. So I was
Wow.
like,
You
"Wow,
played life on hard mode.
complete hard, right?" And I think there
Mm-hmm.
was there thought. I think there was a thought. Like, I mean, I told my parents as well. Like, it was this whole,
Aw.
it was a process, and I did it. But I think as I did it, I was cringing inside as well. I
Mm.
was like, "Whoa."
Do your parents live in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Mm.
They're awesome. So I mean that's also like I'm so thankful for that as well.
Yeah.
But I think there was this whole thing of like, why are you doing this again? Like why?
Yeah, but it's just
You know,
you expressing and discovering who you are, right?
yeah, I mean only to realize like, okay, there could have just been like you experiencing it, instead of like
Making it a whole
a whole
thing.
thing
Mm-hmm.
before you even understand what it is that you want. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I'm out here like trying to be vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think this is a part of the step even,
Mm-hmm.
just being like, okay, this is me, you know. But yeah, we'll see how it moves,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
I feel like this was
Here
like,
we are.
yes, this was more like a therapy session
Oh
for
my
you.
God, yeah.
It was-
Catch me like kind of
yeah,
lying down
he
on my
he's just
on
there
my
like,
chair at
yeah.
the end.
Well, thanks for stepping into my office.
Such a great
Thank
office.
you, thank you.
Yeah,
That was a very insightful conversation, and I love that because it just shows how like um unique but also really similar the human experiences, regardless of sexuality, regardless of who you're attracted to. It's really about connection. It's really about you discovering yourself, what you
for
desire
sure.
in a person, and navigating existing systems and just finding what works for you, and also not trying to box yourself into, I'm they them, or I'm she her, or I'm, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm happy that they exist, and like I say, I always think it's important for people to have this space to show up how they are. But I always tell people to give themselves the gift of changing their mind. I think that sometimes because we're in a very like political society where it's like, okay, you have to take a stand and this is who you are or whatever. It's like, no, like we're ever changing, ever evolving, language is changing, and stuff. Even with like love, for instance, I believe that, yeah, love is a feeling, but it's also like there's love feeling and there's love action, right? You can nurture and build a connection with someone, but they have to make you feel like a specific type of thing. It's like, okay, you make me feel goosebumps, you make me feel, I don't get this with someone. Like when I'm talking
yeah,
to you, there endorphins like flying everywhere. And then you now that's where the action comes in. Okay, what are we doing to nurture this connection? Are we spending more time together? Are we talking about the other people we're seeing? Can I come to you when I'm vulnerable? In what way are you showing up for me? And whatever you want to do. So yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think I guess the space of conversation is so nice, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that sort of needs to be like continued to push a lot more. I mean, kudos for what you're doing. Like, it's
Thank you.
necessary. It's really like the good work, I think. Because I think conversations like key point, right? I mean, I I I I entered this sort of conversation a lot with my female friends as well, like especially around vulnerability. But I also feel like I think men have a long way to go. I
Mm-hmm.
think when it comes to that in general, there's a wall, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that it's sort of across the board as well.
Yeah. And
I
then even masculinity and how people expect masculinity to show up as well.
Yeah,
It doesn't really give men that space to
yeah,
express a lot of like what they feel and all of that stuff.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think space for conversations great. Also, I mean, just like healthy, comfy, great sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like
Good sex is healing.
it's healing. Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. So yeah, I mean, kudos. Well
Yes.
done.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. So final words, final comments, any tip of the week or just any last words you want to say before you
Tip of the week.
or advice to anyone who is in your space or even maybe tip about like anal sex and stuff,
Right.
douching,
I mean,
whatever.
I just got a douche like
Okay.
3 weeks ago. I was running away from it, but
Mm,
I have it now.
first
It's
step.
great. It's so
Oh my god,
nice.
but have you thought of getting like do you have butt plugs?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can do the trainings and the different
Exactly. I
sizes and
mean,
all
I
that stuff.
actually have made my own sex toys.
Oh,
Yeah, so
oh.
I have these bronze toys. I
Mm-hmm.
call them crude tools.
Love
So they were
it.
like initially like made in clay,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had them cast in bronze, and they're
Mm-hmm.
like super cool.
Mm,
I take them when I go out with me. I'm like,
I
oh,
love
look at
that.
yeah, this is my selection. Um, I don't know. I think being playful. I think also like not losing the child in you. And I don't know what tips do I give. Douching
No
is great.
pressure.
Douching is really great. I've just started. It's a revelation. I have these like salt
Do you
water.
always douche at home, or have you ever douched in a person's place?
I would like to keep it like as a private thing,
Yeah.
but also I find like there's a couple of really cute random moments I've been out and the guy's like, you need to douche, and there's this moments of intimacy created
Yeah.
around like, damn, I wasn't like the cleanest, but like I'm
Oops.
kind of like washing my butt in your bathroom. You can hear it, like it's
Fair. It's kind of like the moments of the first time someone poops in your house, and you're like, oh my god, we had had moments.
Leave the door open, won't you? I want to hear it
No,
all.
no, don't.
No.
I don't want to smell it. I can hear it, but I don't want to smell it.
Yeah, I mean, moments for intimacy like that, I think are good. Um, I
Yes,
like
I mean,
them.
and that's why I say about normalizing sex talk and like all of these kind of things. When they're normal, it makes it not a big deal, and it makes the overall experience takes away anxiety, performance anxiety, and you can
Exactly.
have a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To good sex.
Cheers to
Yeah.
good sex.
To good sex. Yeah.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Where can everyone follow you or follow what you do?
Hfactor.co 16 by 16 16 BY16. I also run a really cute restaurant called Thai Thai. Great Thai food. And yeah, more to come. But my personal is Tushar Hathi. TUSHARHATHI. Yeah.
And you can follow me at Hausa Chocolate. Follow the podcast at Spit or Swallow Pod on. Why am I always mixing this part up? Spit or Swallow Pod on Instagram and TikTok. SOS Pod Official on Twitter. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and I will see you when I see you. Bye.